Thank you again for joining me on another episode of Papa Genius on Urban Politics. My name is Stacey J. And I want to start this video off with apologizing to any of the victims of the 2026 Ozoro Culture Festival in Nigeria on the continent of Africa. As a foundational Black American, when I came across this unfortunate event, I thought to myself, how many times I have heard of many Nigerian Americans or people who are of African immigration that have came here to the United States and they have insulted Black Americans that are from here, okay? Either indigenous or through slavery. The main thing they love to say is Black Americans have no culture. We have no culture. While they're able to bring their selves and their family and settle here in these United States of America, where, in my opinion, I feel that there's a lot of culture, especially since our culture helped to push along the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And then also considering the horrific history of slavery in this country of my ancestors, I'm highly insulted. When I think about Jim Crow, there are so many obstacles that Black Americans have had to come across. Also, to even be considered human after the emancipation of slavery with the 14th Amendment. And yet, it's a slap in the face when, again, many African immigrants that come here pick up our culture. They cosplay our culture while on the back end insult us about not having culture. I don't know who said this, but I do agree, and that is, culture is everything you don't have to do. I don't have to prove myself as a Black American. I'm proud that I am a part of this nation, the good and the bad and the ugly. And Foundation of Black American has been around for a long time. However, this brother right here, Tariq Nasheed, has been the one that has brought it to the forefront that there are circles of non-Black American individuals that have insulted us. And even down to Juneteenth. Like, Juneteenth is a special day in the United States when we remember the celebration of freedom. Who doesn't want to celebrate with others their liberation, especially in a country where our people have also shed blood, right? For the freedom of everyone, for the liberty of everyone, even since the Revolutionary War, okay, with the liberation and the freedom of Britain, America was no longer tied. Black Americans fought in that war.
Are descendants of slaves really American, though?
Yeah.
What makes them American? Because they've been here.
They've been here and they've fought in every single war since our country's founding. So yeah, I think people who shed blood, who fought for the soil of our land, regardless of the color of their skin, are more American than people who got here 2 years ago.
Most of that blood has been white blood.
Sure, that doesn't change the fact that the individual who lost their life or who sacrificed, it doesn't change that fact. I mean, proportionally, Black men are only 13% of the population. So yeah, I mean, most of it is going to be white blood, absolutely. But there are brave Black men in my state, in our state, who have gone to war, not just in the global war on terror, but in Korea, in Vietnam, World War I, World War II, the Civil War. Their contributions matter just as much.
That's true, but predominantly that experience has been one reserved for people of European descent, and I think it's important for us to make that observation and not just count that out.
Well, you can make the observation. It doesn't make it, it's an observation. It's empirically true, but look, if you're someone from Sweden or from South Africa, and you're white and you come here and you've been here for 2 years and you are on an H-1B visa, you are not more American than a Black American or a white American who's been here for 5 or 6 generations.
it reminds me that even though I'm not 100% on board with Trump's politics, I will say this, and that is he did remind Americans and those who are immigrants that the 14th Amendment is not to be used as a backdoor to immigration. It is and was established to enforce the emancipation of Black Americans that were newly freed from slavery in America and their children. And that makes me think about the Ozoro culture, a Nigerian grape festival. And the reason why I'm saying grape is because we don't want to be cited by YouTube guidelines, community guidelines. So this is an awful part of a culture to have, and that is the celebration of assaulting women just because you think that it's okay to do this. And I think about how many Africans that have migrated here into America that point their fingers to Black Americans, that insult us, knowing that, and they're even trying to impose onto our culture, like Essence Festival. Just last year there was this huge conflict between many Africans and wanting to impose their culture into the Essence Festival with the Battle of the Jollof versus the Jambalaya. The Jollof was looking struggle, and I'm thinking it looks struggle here, and I'm thinking to myself, there are bigger fish to fry over in the continent of Africa, and you're creating bigger fish over here. There's like $500,000 that's still due from the past Essence Festival before they even go into the 2026. Not even letting a lot of us know that the ownership of Essence had been transferred over to a more African centered and African based ownership. A lot of us didn't know that. A lot of subscribers did not know that. But it's like you're trying to accost the Black American culture and do what? Cosplay without establishing your own. When you have such bigger fish to fry in Africa, starting with the freedom and the rights of women.
The Ozoro Grape Festival in Africa, where women were chased through the streets, stripped from their clothes, and raped in public, only led to 15 arrests and no confirmed assaults. This lasted 7 days straight, and women were warned to stay indoors.
Hello everyone, I'm sure we have seen the issue that's been happening, the festival happening in Ozoro, Delta State, Nigeria, where there is a culture or a practice where for 7 good days, that's a whole week, they say they are celebrating a festival where women are not advised to come outdoors, and if you come out you would be harassed, assaulted, or you will be raped. Now, my problem with this is that this is something that's been happening for generations, and as an activist or somebody who is so passionate about females, it is very disturbing that this was even created in the first place. And the fact is that we still keep coming back to the conversation of the fact that females are not angry enough. Let's be frank, we are not angry enough, because this kind of act should have been condemned from the very beginning. It should never have even been allowed to happen, because these are women or females who would need to go out and make a living. They are the ones providing for the families. They are the ones putting food on the table, because some so-called gender who claim that they are the providers actually don't even do the actual work. This one, you come for me. I'm here for you people.
Ozoro Kingdom. And by the grace of God, we've been able to meet with the king of Ozoro Kingdom. The leadership of NANS, Joint Campus Council, Delta State Axis, the zonal representatives are also here, sent by the zonal coordinator. And of course, we have the student union government led by Comrade Precious and the Dean of Student Affairs here representing the management of the Southern Delta University. Today we've come for fact findings. We've been able to go around the students that were affected by the incident. We've gone to the hospital to check that they are very fine and okay. But coming to the palace, the king has assured us that the perpetrators will be brought to book. And as a matter of fact, right in front of us, the organizers of the festival, the said festival, which was not intended to be a festival of rape.
African Americans in this country are the only groups. They have no culture. It depends on who you meet, where you meet them.
But currently there's not an African American culture?
No.
And these are some of the images of his culture that occurred in these past 7 days of the Ozoro Festival in Nigeria of 2026. That's an image, and that's just one of them. There are so many underreported cases that have occurred, and a lot of oversimplifying what has occurred with these women, because women in this country still don't have a voice. Like, I'm not saying America's perfect, and I'm not saying that Black Americans are perfect. We have our own things that we still have to improve in. Of course, there's always areas of improvement. However, we know that, and yet we are still able to embrace others that are not within our culture, and we're able to celebrate others. We don't look down on people. We embrace people. And to know that people from the continent that have so many issues with underdevelopment and energy and food resources and medicine and healthcare and education, it's, to me, comical at this time for anyone from the continent to say anything against Black Americans at this point without first looking at yourself in the mirror and taking the beam out of your own eye. Work on your problems at home before you come here and analyze ours. Please let me know what you think. Like, share, and subscribe. And again, my sincerest thoughts and prayers are for the women, and also now I'm finding out even some men who may have been assaulted during this festival. It needs to come to an end, and I hope that the international community points its finger and requires better from this nation. Thank you.